Hello guys, today we're back looking at the Mercedes Actros truck. What we did in the last video was just take it apart, see what was in it, and today we're going to start changing out some of the electronics and making it the way we want it. And the first thing to do is just unplug the various bits. Hopefully we'll be able to unplug the cab completely. Well, straight away that makes things a bit simpler for us. Get our drive motor. Well, there was a quality connector. Instead of disconnecting from the plastic housing, it just pulled the housing with it. Anyway, that doesn't matter, we'll be cutting the wire. Here is our steering wire, and we have a power wire here. Actually, it's the wire to the switch. There we go. So that's all the wires disconnected from the PCB. To get that out, it looks like we have to take the steering servo out. No, actually that's one entire unit. Here. So that's that piece out. We don't need that. Little plastic bracket, I don't think we'd have much use for it either, so we'll just throw them over there. So we'll get rid of this steering servo, we don't really need it either. It's not a steering servo, it's a steering motor. That's our motor that was driving the steering mechanism, and as usual with these kind of cheaper RC things, it's just a little gearbox driving an arm that pushes the wheels to one direction or the other, and then a spring returns it back to the center. So we don't need any of that, so we'll get rid of it. What we do want is the wheels and this little bracket that sort of connects them. Not sure where that piece came from, but it only looks to be one of them, so maybe we'll pretend we didn't see that. So those three parts are really all we need. So hopefully we can get a servo in here to just move that piece back and forward. Should be pretty simple actually. We might even get it in on this space beneath the panel here to kind of hold it all together. That would be pretty ideal. Well, I was thinking of putting a 3.7 gram servo in there underneath this cover, but because we have so much space to work with here and I'm kind of short on 3.7 gram servos, I'm going to use this 9 gram. So that should easily fit up into this cavity here. And it'll go down, and we should be able to just make a connection there on this bar here. So I'm going to try that. I think if I drill through this central hole here, that should give me enough clearance for this arm to reach the center of this pin pretty perfectly. I've mounted the servo now, so I cut out a section just to let that little part of the gearbox on the servo into this kind of plastic housing. I drilled two holes, threaded them, and then just glued these two plastic standoffs in place there, and then screwed my servo to that. So it's not too bad, it's stable enough for this job. And on this side, the hole in the center of this connecting rod here was pretty much the size of an M2 bolt head, so I just filed that out a slight little bit to get a little bit looser. So now we're ready to try this on our actual model, but I'll just show you. I have the little sample board here, test board, so I just have it set to cycle around 90 degrees on the servo. So as you can see, that's moving nice and free there. So hopefully that'll be strong enough when we're actually driving the thing. I have to mount it in the chassis now and just make sure that nothing is going to to actually hit the to stop this servo arm moving. Okay, so here it is all assembled back in. It's just these 4 screws. This thing in the front does nothing now, so not much use. But if we hook up the power now, you can see our steering is moving nice and smooth there. I think the wheel's actually hitting at the front here, so I guess that must be our maximum lock. Anyway, it is what it is. We're not going to put too much effort into trying to make it any better or anything like that. You know, the whole point here is just to get a little bit of speed control, improve the electronics, and maybe put a few lights and things like that on it. Let's just see that our cab still fits over here, no problem. Our servo wire is hitting this ridge at the back here, but that doesn't actually seem to do anything, that part. Yeah, we'll get that back on. We might just have to take a notch out of this little piece here, but there's nothing behind it. It doesn't actually do anything. So that's just the servo wire sticking out here. It was getting caught in. So it's only a small notch that we need to do to solve that problem. Okay, well, the next thing we're going to turn our attention to is the 5th wheel, which would be on the back of the cab here. So what I'm thinking is there's a little mounting post in there. If I get rid of that, I can get this servo in here a little bit lower, and that will leave the top of the servo just a little offset from where I want the pin of the trailer to get caught. So I think that would work out nicely. We'll have to 3D print the 5th wheel itself and a small hook, or maybe the servo arm will work. I'm not sure yet, but we'll take a look at that when we get to it. But first thing, get rid of that little post and try and come up with some way of securing this servo in place. I got the servo mounted in there. I just used 2 M2 bolts. I just lined the servo up where I wanted and drilled the hole straight through the bottom. And just put them in with a couple of nuts. I had tried to thread the plastic here and glue in another M2 standoff like I did up at the front here, but for whatever reason the threads didn't really take to this material as well as they did to this piece up here, but I would have thought it was the same material. But regardless, these long M2 bolts worked out alright, so there's a good bit of a bend on the tabs there on the servo, but that should be alright. I checked it with the little control board and it was moving, so we haven't over tightened it on the gears. There's a little clip on the back here you have to catch first, then this should fit in. Oh. And as you can see, we're back down where we wanted to, and the head of the servo is popping out over the top here. So my 5th wheel mechanism, I'll probably, don't know if I'll bolt it in. I'll probably glue some nuts or some M2 inserts into these 2 post holes, so that will mean I can screw the 5th wheel on from the top and also screw the whatever type of a hook that I create for this on from the top as well. So you take those 2 off before you take the top off. But I'm going to have to design that up and have it ready for the next video. So in the next video we'll sort out the 5th wheel. It'll probably just be a matter of screwing 2 pieces on, so that'll not be a big thing. And we'll also install the control board. As far as I can see, we have all the parts here. So we have the drive motor, steering servo, and the 5th wheel servo. The only thing that we'll be missing is the lights, but we always do that last once the model is working. You don't want to waste time sorting out lights if you can't get the rest of it to work. So that's all I have for today. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure and get subscribed and get the bell on. That's all I have for today, so thanks very much for watching.